Now, here's the next batch of three. Andrew, Behrooz, and Fitzwater. Those are three guys that, again, at 100%, I think it would be challenging for Nick to get past them because every one of those guys is shaped better, put together better, don't have stomach issues.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So guys, channel membership is now live. Link is in the description and the first comment. Do check it out. That would really help support the channel. So let's start this video with an update of Muhammad Foda, who just posted this on his IG story, that his Europe visa, sadly that got rejected. And for those of you guys who do not know, this isn't the first time this has happened to him. So I am assuming that he was prepping for either Emperor Classic Spain or Italy Pro, because those are the shows which are scheduled in the month of June, and those shows are in Europe. So now his eyes are set on Tampa Pro, the same show where he plays runner-up behind John De La Rosa, and that was last year. So some of his fans, they call that decision of Tampa Pro last year a bit controversial. But the reality of things is that Foda wasn't in that same condition at Tampa Pro last year as he was in Chicago Pro, the show that he won. And had he brought that same condition at Tampa Pro as well, he probably would have won that show. And the only two shots that Foda was able to win against John, they were the front double biceps and the front lat spread, and those two are undoubtedly his strongest shots. Now Foda has worked with some of the best coaches in the game right now, like Patrick Tuor, and before that, he was working with Hani Wembod for so many years. But he started winning when he finally paired up with Stefan as his coach, and he brought his all-time best with Stefan, especially his version at Chicago Pro. And except for his Olympia debut last year, which by the way was his third show of the year, where he came in totally off, other than that, he has been pretty solid. So, we raised a very valid question last year, and that is a very relevant one. And that is even more relevant this year. Muhammad Foda lives and trains in Dubai. Why he isn't willing to go for a show like Dubai Pro that happened last year? And that is the case this year as well. Now the fact is he is very popular in that part of the world. And on top of that, there will be no hassle of traveling, adjusting to a new time zone, and also the adjustment of the sleep pattern. And he doesn't have to worry about any of that to peak perfectly at Dubai Pro. And the most important point, there is $140,000 on the line. And even the second place finisher at that show, he will get more than double the amount of prize money than the winner of Tampa Pro. So Foda did fix his back, which by the way was the biggest critique on his physique in all three of the shows that he did last year. So if that is in fact true, then Foda will be a very complete bodybuilder this time around. A very balanced physique front to back. So skipping Dubai Pro, that is like missing a very big opportunity. But then again, him and his coach, they know better than us. So cannot wait to see his final package this time around.
That's why I got him. And again, I'll move him up to 7th place, in my opinion. Listen, can somebody come in off? Well, of course they can. That's why we play the game.
To every single person out there who thinks that Bob Ciccarello, he pulled the bear when he started talking about the mutant Nick Walker. Well, I'm gonna say that is a total misjudgment on our part. He has been more relevant than ever before, ever since he started talking about the mutant Nick Walker and how Nick is gonna place 8th at the Olympia this year. And he did that all over the bodybuilding media. Now, in my opinion, that was kind of a low blow from Bob Ciccarello to Nick, because there is just no way someone like Nick, he can place so far down. So there is a shift, in Bob's opinion, regarding the mutant. So he gave him as high as 4th place, but as low as 7th at the Olympia this year. And he did say that there are 3 guys out there whom Nick Walker cannot beat, and they are Derek, Samson, and Hottie Chopin. Now as far as Nick's comparison with Martin Fitzwater and Andrew Jack is concerned, let's just go by the facts and also the stats. Both these guys, they have never beaten Nick Walker before. And until that happens, we can assume that Nick is most probably gonna beat both these guys again at the Olympia this year. And statistically speaking, there is only one guy whom I think we can all put our money on for this year's Miss Olympia, that he probably isn't gonna miss in terms of his peak and his conditioning. And that is none other than the Persian Wolf, Hottie Chopin, a former Miss Olympia. And Nick Walker as well as his former coach, Matt Jensen, they went on the record and they said this about only one guy, only one athlete out there, that the Hottie Chopin that we saw at the Arnold, Ohio last year, where Hottie just walked all over the competition. Even though we had a guy like Samson Dauda in there. So that is the only guy about whom Nick and Martin both said they cannot beat him.
I'm always going to say Hottie.
Yeah.
I think me and Hottie are extremely comparable in every way, shape, or form. And I think if he comes in at 100 and I'm in at 100, it's going to be a battle.
So when the mutant says that he's gonna be top 3 at the Olympia this year, I must say that is very realistic. And Bob, he's still placing him as low as 7th. And that is something that none of us see happening. Because I have never seen all the top guys coming in at their 100%, especially at the Olympia ever in the history of this sport. Now, all that being said, I must say this is actually good for the sport. This banter, this trash talk. Because this hypes up the show more than before. It gets the fans involved. And that is one of the major reasons we see so much more engagement. And I must say there is nothing more Nick Walker's fans wanna see or hear Bob Chicarello announcing Nick Walker as the Olympia winner for this year. And then he's the one who's gonna have to interview Nick Walker as well. So I must say Derek Lunsford wasn't the only one who dodged a bullet big time at the Pittsburgh Pro. Imagine what would have been the scenes that a guy whom you predicted is gonna place 8th at the Olympia. He comes back after 1 year, and on his first show back, he beats the reigning Arnold champion and a former Miss Olympia. It would have been totally nuts. Next up, we have an update from the 2 times former 212 Olympia champion, Shan. So 42 years old, and the man is still killing the game, still smashing those weights in the gym, day in and day out. So Shaun has already cemented his legacy as one of the best 212 bodybuilder of all time. And pound for pound, he will forever be in that list of being one of the most muscular man in the entire bodybuilding history. Because the amount of muscle that Shaun has packed on his frame, that is simply mind-blowing. And we have all seen his amazing transformation since 2016. And that is an even more impressive factor, where his physique was when he first started his career as a pro. And from that point to winning the Olympia, that has been one hell of a success story. Now, we all know Shaun has a champion mindset, but he has to be more realistic here. There are no chances of him beating a guy like Keon Pearson. I'm gonna say ever again, as Keon is now entering the prime of his career. And Shaun, we all know, is getting older by the year. And yes, I get it. He looked extremely impressive at Prague Pro this year, in the post-Olympia tour, where he did the men's open bodybuilding show. But that physique, that is still nowhere close to beating a guy like Keon Pearson. So what did you guys think? Can this be the year when someone else is gonna push Shaun for that 2nd place at the Olympia this year? Because I must say, if Shaun is successful in placing 2nd again for 3rd year in a row, especially at his age, where most of these bodybuilders, they tend to decline and they lose that muscle quality. If that happens, it's gonna be one hell of an accomplishment. So I am very sad to announce that Michael Krizo, he will be missing out on another Miss Olympia. So that is 2 years in a row. Now most of us were hoping that he's gonna jump into this upcoming Spain Pro or maybe some other show, get his Olympia qualification, and then start another off-season and get ready for this year's Miss Olympia. But him confirming that his next show, that is gonna be Prague Pro, which is scheduled after the Olympia this year, that certainly clear things up. That Krizo is out for this season.
A potom začneme už naberaciu fázu, z ktorej prejdeme do prípravy. Zameriame sa na Evos, tak. Zameriam sa brutálne na posing, ktorý plánujem do Evos tak vylepšiť, že ľudia nebudú mať dôvod ma hejtovať za posing.
Now on one hand, you have got to respect the man that he fully realizes that in order for him to jump the placings at the Olympia level, he has to improve his back as well as his posing. But on the other hand, he was so close to winning another pro show, maybe in another 2 weeks or even this coming weekend, because I think we can all agree he probably would have won California Pro based on his physique and also his placings at the New York Pro and also at the Pittsburgh Pro. Now Krizo, we all know, is another freak of nature who brings a lot of excitement at the Olympia level. And the last time he did the Olympia, he was top 7. But he really has to fix all those mobility issues, because the fact is he has been getting that criticism about his posing for a long time now. But the man is determined that the next time he's up on the stage, everything will be improved. So maybe I'm featuring too much of Behrooz Tabani, the Iranian phenomena. But now that he is a little over 4 weeks out of this year's Dubai Pro, the man is literally getting better by the day. Talk about having a crazy most muscular shot. Behrooz Tabani has got one of the best out there. And there is something about those Persian genetics. They always come in so detailed, so separated, and absolutely ripped to the bone. Look at Hottie Chopan, Sazan Herati, and Behrooz Tabani. I don't think Milo Sorsev, his coach, he overhyped Behrooz Tabani by any means, just because Behrooz Tabani is his client. The man is a legit Olympia top 6 contender, and the man is extremely impressive by every single open bodybuilding standard out there. And he's certainly gonna beat some very good guys, some very big names, in case he finally gets his US visa and we see him on the Olympia stage. Because there isn't even a one single weak shot on this guy. So can anyone out there stop him from winning this upcoming Dubai Pro? And that too for the second year in a row. Can anyone stop him from winning 140 grand? Well, I'm gonna say highly unlikely. His biggest competition at Dubai Pro last year, that was William Bonac. And Bonac, we all know, is already done with the season. We heard Martin might do this too. But he's also focused on the Olympia this year. So if everything goes perfectly for Behrooz Tabani, he will definitely add another pro win to his resume at this year's Dubai Pro. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.